And we are live. The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old.
Minecraft. What is it? What does it do? Whose crafts are you mining? More of this at 6.
Find out.
Man, massive topic. So just serendipitously, both of our kids have kind of stumbled back into Minecraft recently,
Yeah.
and I think Jeff, yours, much like mine, kind of bounced off it the first time. No?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They hard pass, and then they came back to it, and now they're deep into it. So yeah,
Yeah. So we're gonna dive in. So we're gonna talk about the experience because anyone listening to the show, I'd be very surprised if you hadn't heard of Minecraft before. But have you actually purchased it, set it up, played it, know some of the tips and tricks, like some of the parental controls, things like that? That's what we kind of wanted to go through as a new dad, the experience of kind of dealing with Minecraft, as
yeah,
amazing as it is. And I think in many ways, like you'll see that I think we both vouch for it very enthusiastically.
yeah.
So that's what we wanted to cover. But we did want to get through a couple other things before we dive into the main meat of the show there. One of them being I guess from my side, a gaming dad suggestion. And this would be for any gaming dad who is, let's call it blessed, with more than one kid,
That's a good way of putting it. I like
right?
that. Yeah,
Blessed, we'll say.
that's
But if
right.
you are a gaming dad with more than one kid, one of the on where I came about this is unfortunately my wife had a injury with her knee, and we have been taking the kids skiing. So what's come about is I cannot take both of them skiing at the same time.
Right.
Like there's too many skis, there's too many
No.
directions. It's got to be one on one, right? Just from a safety and sanity. What it's presented though is it's actually become a really amazing experience because all too often the entire family's together, or you're kind of taking both the kids so that the other partner can have some time or kind of accomplish something. There just doesn't seem to be a lot of opportunity when you have more than one to have solo time, just
Yeah.
you and one of your kid, dad and kid. And
Right.
it's amazing. Like the ability to just lock in and really focus on one kid alone as opposed to like two and just everything else that comes about it. So what does he want? What does he think? Like where do you want to go? What are you playing? Like it's really fantastic to the point where what happened by happenstance in the sense that I just had to take these kids kind of one at a time to get
Yep.
solo time. I'm gonna plan on it now. Like I'd like to schedule like play dates almost in some ways, like just one on one to kind of experience this. I don't know if you've had kind of a similar um, realization or same experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think taking out again my youngest son, you get to know them a lot better, like their own
Mm.
personality. I find my youngest kind of censors himself around what my oldest wants to do, right? He always kind of tags along. He wants to do what the older brother's doing, just naturally. But by himself, it's just like a tiny bit different. And you
Mm.
kind of get to know this little person that you don't quite know as maybe you thought you did. And I've had instances kind of the same happenstance where one gets in trouble, has to go to bed early, and I can spend time with the other one.
Nice.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's just even those moments, totally recommend. And like you said, maybe it's just a scheduled play date
Mm.
within your own family. So,
Yeah, and I guess what I've really come to realize and appreciate now too is just how this current moment is really amazing. So I mean, a 3 and a 5-year-old, they're starting to show their personalities. They're funny, like they're legitimately making me laugh quite a bit. They're so much fun
oh,
to play with. It's wrestling and horseplay and all this great stuff. So
yeah.
to capture that moment, to be able to spend it like one-on-one time at what is such a great age, I'd highly recommend gaming dads. I mean, again, like you get grinded down day to day work. Please just eat your vegetables. Why are you setting the drapes on fire? Please go
Right.
to bed.
Yeah.
You get really caught up in that. But if you can remove yourself a bit and just realize this, I really highly suggest like just taking the time and set up some one-on-one time with the kids individually. I think you'll really find it beneficial.
Yes, absolutely. And like at the ages you've mentioned, just those go by in such a blur. I know it's
Mm.
cliche to say it, but it's just something that you do have to plan for. So highly recommend from here too.
Yeah, excellent. So now maybe if I did that more often, I would
Right?
have my kids would be having less issues at school.
You'd think, right?
It's like I must be not have done enough time because I sure do get a lot of emails from school. Well,
Oh, same here. Yep.
now, yeah. So to be clear, fortunately, he's actually quite. We were lucky that they tend to do fairly well at school so far. Mind you, I mean it's like kindergarten, so there's only so much you can go astray. However, the one I got, it has this kind of weird dad gaming angle, which I found funny, in so much as him and his little clique, which I'm starting to get the sense of, it's kind of like the Bad Boys Club,
Okay.
because it
All
seems
right.
to be this group of fellas that tend to get in a lot of trouble.
Okay.
So it's like, all right, great, you're going to be the trouble stirrers. Just what I
Is
want.
he the ringleader though, or is he just? Do
I
we know?
wonder. I'd have to watch. I'd have to see how they interact together. At this stage, I don't know.
Okay.
So but they were playing. So the game was they would take Lego and they were building action figures. So they
Yeah.
would they're taking Lego. They would build like Hulk. They would build Thor, and they'd smash each other with them. So
Sounds-
big battles.
Yep.
Kind of natural, and that's not so bad. Now I suppose from a teacher's perspective, that is a bit violent. You look over and they're probably going at it pretty aggressively. So imagine like
Right.
you're in a class, a bunch of students, and like all of a sudden these boys, it's like slam, slam,
Hulk
slam.
smash.
Yeah. And I think
Yep.
then it always just spills over and starts to include other kids.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
like my relay with this is that like look, I was explaining to him is because immediately, of course, he lost his game. Like, look, the teacher writes home, you're in trouble, you're not listening.
Yeah.
Like you're losing screen time. It's kind of like what we talked about last week. But more than I was trying to relate to him, it's like, look, like we play games like Lego Marvel, right?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
we're hitting and like we're having some fun, but that's the screen. That's game time. Like that's a very point. And if I keep getting these kind of notices where you're doing that in real life with people, like that means we're gonna have to cut this off. Like so, you need to start. It's hard to really. I'm probably even saying it more sophisticatedly here than I did to him, because it's kind of a difficult
Okay.
concept. But as far as like boundaries around, like we have fun when we hit people in the video game, but that's like a cartoon. It's pretend. In real life, you can't be doing that, and you need to listen to your teacher at all times. Otherwise, you're going to lose screen times and permissions.
Right.
So, I think it's a bit of a difficult lesson for a 5-year-old to really grasp, but still, I really got to hammer that home because it's, look, Lego bashing on screen,
Right.
fine. Video
Yeah.
games, having fun. Lego bashing people in your class, not so fine.
Not so fun. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if you've had have you seen a similar kind of issue
Well-
with school and how it relates to screen time and that type of angle?
Yeah, we're on no screen time right now because we got a email.
What
from the
did you do,
teacher.
Jeff? Why did you lose
I
your
know.
screen time, Jeff?
Right? Well, let's see. So my youngest has no screen time right now because we have an email from the teacher about his virtual school performance. In that there's very little performance.
In the lack of.
Lack of. He, I guess, to this point, has done very little in handing in his work, which we, again, putting it out to a lot of people and parents at home right now dealing with the pandemic and virtual school, we spot check his stuff. We ask him if he's turned in his stuff. Google Classroom is a great tool, but it has many, many flaws in the UI of it and how to
Oh,
find
yeah.
what work is
is
due and
not-
when. It's not.
You're being very polite. That system is functional but garbage. Like it is so confusing. I've found it so difficult to navigate.
Yeah, and there's 20, 30 things in a week. So going back 4 or 5 weeks, we've discovered that, maybe half the work has been done. So we made a whole list for him, and he has to work his way through the list without burning out, but work his way through the list to get screen time back. He does not get screen time until that list is done. And yeah, we could go into like the whole thing, like maybe we should have been informed if this pattern was kind of early on. Maybe the teacher would have emailed us. Anyway, we've had conversations about it, but he understands. He was it's kind of hard not to shame him. Obviously, he's struggling. There might be other things at play. The pandemic is very hard on a little guy. So he's going to work through it. He's going to earn that screen time back. So we're there. We're gonna get there,
Hmm.
but it's gonna be a journey, Trevor. It's gonna be like this long. Hopefully, when COVID's over, the schoolwork is over. I don't know.
His like his quest list so he's opened up the menu of his game,
That's right.
and there's like all these, call it almost side quests that
Yes,
support the
I
main
like
quest, or at
that.
least right.
Yeah,
You can almost picture that having a actual screen game style. The only game you're playing now is like the game of life, and here's all your
right.
quests before you could finally get your
I
reward of games back.
That is a new dad gaming idea. We'll gamify Google Classroom. I love it.
I honestly I think there is actually mobile apps where you can have like chores that get
Oh,
assigned to you, and then like for as you complete them, you get level up. Let's
experience
make
points.
a gaming dad note to make sure we talk about that next week. That might actually be a very great gaming dad win.
Yeah, for sure.
So yes, I'll defend you here in the
Okay.
sense that I I know you. I know how you parent. Um, it is not that you've been just completely disconnected from your kid and whatever, man. I guess go to school.
Yeah. No.
I suppose there could have been more checks, but at some point there has to be trust with the kid as well as they age. And
Yeah, and trust in the school, kind of,
yeah,
too.
as well.
So,
I would like to think that as opposed to weeks upon weeks where there's been nothing handed in, by the second week it's like, hey parents, like, is everything
yeah,
okay? So
right.
I'd like to see a bit more support, especially in what everybody's going through with virtual schooling. But
Yeah, we'll
shake it
get there.
off. You guys sounds like I like the way you handled it as far as having a screen's gone, you finish, like you catch up, you put the work in, and then we can talk
Yeah.
about.
I will call them side quests, though. I think that's good. So he has 47 side quests to go, and I'll report
And
back when he's complete and leveled up.
and speaking of leveling up, I mean, again, if
Yeah.
we were better kids, perhaps if we were better dads, if we were deserving of gaming dad victories,
Yeah.
perhaps our kids wouldn't be having such issues at school. But there are dads out there, wonderful dads, great dads, perfect dads, who are winning gaming dad victory of the week, and it is time to reward one such dad now.
Gaming Dad Victory of the Week. Each week we feature an exceptional gaming dad, and often their kids, who are doing fatherhood and gaming so well.
So this one is fantastic. I'm so thrilled because it is a beautiful little moment shared between a son and his father, and it centers around gaming. And it's just a quiet little thing that was done, but I adore it top to bottom, and I think anybody listening to the show will as well. So the post itself came from the son, so Zach, in many ways. So this is a gaming son victory of the week as well as a gaming dad victory. We'll put that
Nice.
one out there. But for the son, his absolute favorite game was Zelda DX, or
Good
Zelda
choice.
on the
Yeah.
right. So and the picture itself has a Game Boy Color. He's loaded up Zelda on it. So Dad got me Zelda DX for Christmas, which was my favorite game as a kid. Just decided to play it today, and then he shows the photo. He loads it up for the first time, new game, and what is the name of the first three characters in the three save slots? It's I love Zach. So the gaming dad went out and found Zelda DX for his son, who he knew that this is one of his favorite games of all time. Hands it to him, doesn't really make a big deal of it, happy birthday. Kid finally, one day down the line, fires it up. And what's the first thing he's greeted with when he says a new game? Okay, which save slot do you want to overwrite to start? I love
Yeah.
Zach. And
Yeah.
it's
Uh,
it's quiet, it's sentimental, it's a respect and like a shared interest in gaming. Like top to bottom, this is such a heartwarming and awesome story, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am totally lifting this idea and doing it for my own kids because I think it is a great way to show that love through games to your kids and know that you're like listening to them, right? So
Hmm.
I applaud this. This is amazing. And again, I'm totally using this for the next time there's a birthday game or Christmas gift. So
Yeah, what I'm excited about, it really, in many ways, for us gaming dads, opens up a window of opportunity. Because, I mean, later in the show today, we're going to be talking about Minecraft. But you can imagine if your kid gets Minecraft for the first time. He's like, Dad, I really want to play Minecraft. Like, okay, let's get you started.
Yeah.
And you've built him his first house. And inside the house is a message like, son, really happy, like how hard you're trying. Like, really, I hope you enjoy this world. Like there's this, because you're involved with your kid's interests, because you're involved with gaming, because you have an understanding of how these things work, like save files and things like that. There's these opportunities to show interest and affection and connectedness and bonds with the kids. So that, like I said, it's a tiny, quiet little story, but for myself, it's like really profound, and I absolutely adore seeing this.
Yeah, no, I again commend this dad for thinking of that. And again, like you were saying, just lots of opportunity to show that love and towards your kids. So it's great gaming dad victory.
Absolutely. So for using his amazing knowledge of gaming, how save file works, to slip in a sentimental message to his son, we want to give our hats off to Zach and his gaming dad for this week's Gaming Dad Victory of the Week.
If you would like to be nominated or know somebody else deserving, please get a hold of us at our website, newdadgaming.com.
So that was a pretty good Gaming Dad victory. I really felt good about that one. Yeah, ever since I found it, I've been really kind of beaming about it, thinking about, much like you, it's just, you start to think about, that's a really cool idea. It's what I could do for my kid.
Right. Absolutely.
But now, what's the only thing that's better than a Gaming Dad victory?
I'm not sure what.
Another Gaming Dad victory.
Gaming Dad Victory of the Week.
Okay, we're not going to go through the whole intro again.
Oh.
But we did have another Gaming Dad victory we want to highlight quickly this week. This Gaming Dad victory, imagine your kid going through their first full RPG, and it happens to be one of your all-time favorites, if not the first one that you played yourself. Jeff, why don't you walk through what we're seeing here?
Yes, it's Dragon Quest, I believe, that's on a emulated tablet. So I myself, Dragon Quest, or Dragon Warrior is what I played, but Dragon Quest was one of the first RPGs I played, and my dad actually gave me that as my first foray into the RPG world. So I cannot, I can relate, but I cannot imagine what's going through his dad's head and his kid going into this world and experiencing this, because they're in for quite a ride. So it's an amazing achievement, and kudos to the dad for introducing this type of game to their kid as well, because they don't only start that love for RPGs and that escaping into a different world.
Yeah, and it's just I find there's so many good parallels with RPGs and reading, as far as it's the hero's journey. It's a big quest. It's about sacrifice and loss and good overcoming evil. So as much as it's kind of frivolous little games and just fun times, I think there's something particularly interesting about RPGs and the longer form stories that they tell. And if you can get your kid into, which in many ways, I think parallels reading in some ways, perhaps complements reading is a way to better say that.
Yeah.
With like a big full RPG, and the thought that our kids could be playing through some of the RPGs that we grew up with and loved, that kind of got us in the game. Oh, how thrilling would that be?
Yeah, so, just to pass that down, right? Again, and they'll pass it down to their kids, sharing that bond again, right? Sharing that experience.
This Dragon Quest has been in my family.
Here you go, son. Open up the gaming case carefully.
Don't overwrite my save file. No.
Everyone's going to be in VR, and they'll be like, no, 2D. Play it in 2D.
You shall do it on the flat screen. So, anyways, kudos to the Gaming Dad here for introducing their kid to an amazing RPG and getting them started into a fantastic world and an amazing world of gaming. Kudos, Gaming Dad. So, on to the main course that we did want to speak about here. Again, you have heard it.
Yes.
We have heard about it. Perhaps your kid is playing it. Perhaps you want your kid to play it. We are talking about Minecraft. Now,
yes.
I think that at the outset, what I'll say is the Minecraft has got to be one of the most, video games I could think of. I suppose it's so fascinating how in some ways like how much more of a real world application it presents. In so much as like you can do coding in Minecraft, it is unlocked creativity. It is the massive virtual Lego screen. It's unscripted. It's there's no guidelines to it. You're just dropped into a Minecraft world. That's like dropping your kid in the backyard, a digital backyard, and saying, "Play, go, build, do." So technically, it's a video game, but it really feels like so much more. So why in your household did Minecraft come about? Sounds like for like the second time.
Yeah, we're on the second trip through. So again, the first trip, I don't think it really hit for them yet. But now that they have more and more, I guess, friends playing it, they have seen some YouTube videos on it. They kind of know or have an idea now of what is possible in Minecraft. So that got them very interested. So they are hopping into this Minecraft world, much like you said, very creative, very just open world, flexible, can do anything in. But that can present some problems from a gaming dad just stepping into this world that I'm not familiar with. I missed the boat on Minecraft. I'm not sure about you, but I am not familiar with Minecraft and how it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, very much. It entirely passed me over. Like I always knew about it, always kind of knew how it worked, had played some of it. So very much in the same boat. So like walk us through. So you are the gaming dad. Your kid comes to you, as I imagine any kind of young kid who plays with other kids. Oh, we're playing Minecraft. This is great. I mean, Minecraft play dates are a thing, you know.
Yeah.
So
yes.
So how did you get in? So how did you figure your way through? I imagine you had to embark upon that Minecraft quest.
I did, and a lot of research. I had to do my homework. So there for just to start, Gaming Dads, there's 2 versions out there, and there's one version that will play with anybody, and that is the Bedrock Edition. The Bedrock Edition, cross-play, cross-console, doesn't matter what device you're on, you can all play together, which sounds amazing. Mm-hmm. The other version is the Java version, which you can completely like mod and do all your own, tweak maybe for advanced users, but that is PC only. You can only play with other PC people. So
and even I think it's even Java. So I'll jump in here because I did have to purchase it. So when I went to purchase it, it was called more the Win 10 version, and then Java. That was the 2. And I don't even know that Java cross plays with the Windows 10 version. So Java can play with Java, but that's about it. The Windows 10 version, if you're buying on PC, can cross play with anybody.
Yeah.
So go on.
Well, that's the one I think your kids should start with at least. Later on, they can do the Java version or the Windows 10 version. But to get my kids started, they're on console, and their friends are on iPad, Steam, a whole bunch of other devices. And so to get everybody kind of together, you have to buy the right version. And then if gaming dads are playing on the PlayStation, just specifically, that my only experience is that you can't have any guest accounts. You have to create child accounts for your PlayStation, so you have to have those set up, ready to go. Once you purchase Minecraft, it links the PSN profile to it. So whoever bought it gets to go online with it. So just make sure you have the right kid or your own account, sign up and link that Minecraft account to your PSN account, because you can only switch it out once, and it warns you. You can only do like a one-time switch to another profile, and then you're like,
okay, just for my benefit. So you purchased it, and then you want to link it up to a kid's account. So you are signed in yourself with your own account.
Yeah.
Then you with your account purchase it, download it, or like get it ready, and then you can at that point assign it once. You get one shot to assign it to a kid's profile.
Yes. So I would say that profile that you assign it to has to have the ability to go online, which most of those accounts don't. So my child account doesn't have PS Plus, so he can't go online. So I had to assign it to my account.
Oh, okay.
So make sure the account you sign it to, I'm not sure, it's probably similar with Nintendo Switch and maybe even Xbox, where you just have to make sure that that account can go online. Otherwise, no one's going to be playing together unless you're doing like a local split screen. So just another hurdle to kind of be aware of. And then you have to make a Minecraft like Microsoft account to kind of keep your worlds all together and play with other people. So there's a lot of accounts being created. Just make sure that you know which accounts are what and who's associated with what. So my oldest plays on my profile and my youngest plays with him in that world. So he can go online and invite anybody into it.
So it kind of sounds like it'd be beneficial to. This is definitely one of those, the day before Christmas, set this thing
Yes.
up. Do not be trying to do this the day you give it to them, as it's going to take a while.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. This game has sold what 130 million copies. Super popular. I get it. It's just I found it very hard to start. Like very hard to get into and get all this kind of sorted out. Being so popular that it is, you think they would just make it the easiest one-click thing ever, but it just seems like there's a little bit more legwork that needs to be done to get your kids to game. So just fair warning to anybody that does Minecraft. And then again, if you buy the console version, there's all the mods are kept in a marketplace. So if your kid wants to buy a certain mod that their friends are playing with, he has to buy it through the marketplace, and only he has it. So if you have a little brother that's playing on another console in the house, he won't have it. He'll have to buy it separately. So there's like these weird missteps to
Yeah.
it that you just have to be aware of. I think everybody kind of plays vanilla Minecraft and is fine. But if you get outside of that, it kind of gets a little bit more complicated. So
So you finally sorted out. So that's just a great point, that to know multiple versions, multiple accounts, permissioning, like there's a lot to set up. So take some
Yeah.
time. Be prepared that when you sit down to do it, it's not going to just, hey, let's buy and play Minecraft.
no, yeah.
But let's get past that. Your kids start playing it. Like, what was the experience like? Was there frustration, as in, how the heck do I do anything? Did they just kind of jump in because they already had been watching on YouTube and they knew everything? Like, what was the actual family experience of finally like diving into Minecraft?
Yeah, once my kids got in, they were playing together. They knew exactly what to do and where to get it. They have watched so many YouTube videos on this, and I think that's just a requirement for this game to get your feet wet, because it kind of throws you into this world, and there's no real tutorial or how to build things. Even the crafting system, to me, is kind of alien on just how it works, the grid style. So if you watch a couple of YouTube videos, even if they're old enough to read a wiki page, there's tons of articles on how to work it, where to get things. They had a blast, and they were working together, securing all the little towns inside of it, building up their own houses, and it was cooperative, at least for a while. So
At least there was peace in the
there
beginning.
was. Yeah, no, it was a good time. They had a blast. And when my son, again, improves his virtual school grades, he can go back to it and they can play together. But now he's very worried that his older brother is running around getting all the extra armor and items without him. So
It's more incentive for him to finish those side quests to get back into it.
that's right.
It's yeah, it is bizarre how unapproachable it is. And again, I think that's probably where gaming dads, if you haven't played it or had good familiarity with it, even you yourself getting some education on it, because the crafting of a sword, of a pickaxe, of a house, like how the sleep kind of system works, how monsters come out at night, like there's a whole having some appreciation and understanding for it will probably allow you to guide them, because it is very much the Wild West out there in Minecraft land for like getting in.
Yeah, and there's a creative mode. You can kind of go in there and go bananas without fear of, a creeper coming at you and eating your profile. But it doesn't really teach you how to go around and get the basics of it. So, yeah, it's daunting at first. But remember when you were a kid gamer and you had time? These kids just sit down and
don't.
love this stuff. So,
Yeah, it's like that. I'll tell you, that's the sad one. I don't want to say sad things, but I could just picture me as a kid when if I had the time to do this, because I was also creative. I mean, I kind of gravitated towards art. So the thought of the works I could have created, the monuments, the just what if me and my buddies spent an afternoon completely hollowing out a mountain and having like a
Yeah.
water slide like that? That sort of creative approach to it. I was sad about that I didn't get a chance to play it when I was a kid, for when I'd have such time. But
Right.
again, too, I think is that kind of a draw for you as a gaming dad, where it's like you want them to kind of get into creative mode and start to create some of those masterpieces like you see online, as far as the massive works people have put together?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because my son, instead of doing a school project on paper, he wants to do it through Minecraft,
Okay. Okay.
which it's planning a sustainable city. And I'm
Oh,
like, that's a pretty cool
that's tight. That's
way
so
to do it,
cool.
right? So he has to think of how the sustainability will work, where the water is being recycled, the garbage pickup, and he's designing it in Minecraft. So I'm like, if this game can inspire that kind of thinking and keep kids engaged with learning, by all means, go bananas with it. That's just an amazing thing to see, and I'll never put down this game again. Like before, it was about this is too complicated. I can't believe there's tutorial. Like whatever. If it inspires a kid to kind of go in there and learn more, and not even know it, that is an extreme accomplishment with this kind of game. I love it. It's a great thing to see. So absolutely recommend it for sure. Just give it a try. They might bounce hard the first time they get in, but it'll come back. I think it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. So I guess if I might do a summation, and correct me anywhere where I miss or add in anything you like, the Minecraft is fantastic. Like
Yes.
you've heard about it, like your friends have talked about it, so like there's no way you haven't heard about it. It is slightly complicated to buy and set up, so that needs preparation. Like know what you're getting into, do some homework and research. So what version do you buy? What platform? What accounts? What permissioning? It's not going to be easy. It's not impossible, but just it's not automatic.
Right.
It's not super easy like you're expecting from gaming.
Yep.
Generally speaking, go for the Bedrock version because that's probably the version that survives going forward, and it lets everybody play with everybody.
Right.
Right. So in addition, learn after you get everything set up, learn a bit. So go through some tutorials, kind of get some of the basics. You might be able to help them and plod them along. And otherwise, it's this. Understand that it is an amazing gaming opportunity, as far as something that is interesting, captivating, popular. A lot of kids are playing it, but legitimately has educational, exploratory, creative endeavors for it. So I suppose like I could wrap that up by saying I don't know that we could recommend Minecraft enough if you can get your kids into it.
Yeah, I think you summed it up quite nicely. Yes, absolutely. Just see what they can do with their mind on screen. You can just see the imagination just happen there. So yeah.
I guess the last thing I'll tell you, I guess, from our two personal experiences, that both of our kids got it, bounced off super hard,
Yep.
said no thank you, ran away, and then slowly have kind of come back into the fold. So that might just to set expectations that this is not going to be an immediate hook like a Lego game, because it's still a
No.
bit deeper.
Yeah, it plants the seed, come back later for sure.
It is the first digging of a mine that will yield many diamonds.
That's
So-
right.
So with that, we will wrap it up for the week. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. If you would like to get a hold of us, you can find us on social media at New Dad Gaming, both on Twitter and Instagram. You can find us at our website, newdadgaming.com. There you can submit any questions. If you have any Minecraft tips, any tips for schoolwork, or apps that we can gamify some of the chores that our kids are going to need to do. Would love to hear from you if you have a Gaming Dad Victory of the Week, if you want to be featured. Would love for you to reach out so we can get that featured on the show. If you'd like to subscribe to the podcast, you can find us on Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, and any of the other ones. Just search for New Dad Gaming. And otherwise, if you can subscribe to the podcast, leave a comment, and share it around, we would really appreciate it as we try to reach out to as many gaming dads as possible. Look, we're just trying to create a really bumpin' Minecraft dad server. I guess that's where we're heading to.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a wild Saturday night, like beers, Minecraft,
right.
complaining
Yep.
about kids and schoolwork. It's gonna be good.
Come on out. Yeah.
Anyways, Thank you, everybody, for listening. Until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old.
All right. See you next week.
See you.